Hello everyone, welcome to this preview video on an English film Porto. I'm your host Matt, and today we're going to be looking ahead to the first leg Europa League playoff tie between Porto and Roma. Let's start on the Porto side of things, having come off our 1-1 draw against Sporting CP, third draw in a row in the league. Whilst it wasn't a great watch, it's probably like a 7 out of 10 overall performance from Porto. They possibly could have won it. There were some good signs that hopefully things could get even more in the right direction, and we'll see if that's going to apply here. I did do a shorts review on the game, so if you want to hear more about that, you can have a listen to that short. But when you look at the Europa League form for Porto, it's been quite inconsistent. In fact, the last game was Porto's first win on the road, which did manage to get at them to this stage. Home form has been a mixed bag, having drawn 3-3 to Man United. Did get 2 home wins against Hoffenheim and Midtjylland, 2-0 each, and then lost on the penultimate league phase match day at home to Olympiacos. None of which were with Martin Anselmi as the manager, and hopefully he can bring another win in the Europa League, having had a 100% record. What we'll see lineup-wise for Porto, I think we'll probably see about 2 or 3 changes. I think Otavio is going to come back in, having been suspended for that game against Sporting CP. I believe only the league was affected, and it'll be a 1-match ban anyway. I would expect the rest of the centre-backs to stay the same. I think on the 4 or in front of them, I would imagine João Mario and Francisco Moura are going to keep their spots because they didn't play a full 90 minutes against Sporting CP. And I would expect both Varela and Eustáquio to play if they are fit enough. But we could see Thomas Perez make it his debut. And then the front 3, Samu will be the striker, and behind him, Rodrigo Moura. And guess it will probably be Pepe and Rodrigo Moura. But could be Fabio Vieira. And personally, I'd quite like to see, I'd probably go with William Gomez. Porto, whilst not having a very good January, things have started to turn around. And let's look at the Roma side of things. In the past 2 seasons, Roma have made deep runs into the Europa League, including last season when they got to a semi-final, which included knocking out AC Milan on the way. They also gave Bayer Leverkusen a close tie in the semi-final. Of course, Bayer Leverkusen had gone unbeaten in the league, they'd won the double, and they got to the final of the Europa League where they did eventually lose, but it was a very good run once Daniele De Rossi had taken the reins at Roma, who he himself got sacked quite early on in the season, which I think as a result destabilised Roma. They went through Ivan Juric, who Roma were inconsistent. We can see that inconsistency in that Europa League form this season. Claudio Ranieri came in, doing a better job. Still some inconsistencies within that Roma team. It'll be interesting to see how he does against Porto. And Claudio Ranieri, who's previously been at Chelsea, took them to a semi-final of the Champions League when Porto won the Champions League under Mourinho. And that was just before Mourinho went over to Chelsea. And also, Ranieri also won Leicester the Premier League in 2016. In the Europa League, Roma finished 15. Going off their away runs, they'd lost away to Elfsborg. They drew away to Union Saint-Gilles 1-1. Drew 2-2 away at Tottenham. And also lost to AZ Alkmaar. Roma, their away form, still yet to pick up a win. Although they're currently unbeaten at home, where the last game they did play against Frankfurt, going off the highlights, they did look very good. And I did have a watch of the highlights against Venezia. First half, Roma did look good. Second half, it wasn't that convincing, but they've still managed to get at the 3 points. They got the job done. And I think to an extent to see a bit of a hard game. It'll be challenging, but I think Porto also will offer their strengths as well. So players to look out for, you've got Alexis Salamakers, who's currently on loan from AC Milan, Paulo Dybala, perhaps not the same player as he was at Juventus, but he's still got it in him to be a difference maker. You've also got World Cup winner Mats Hummels in the Roma side. Many people will know him. And also I'd say keep an eye out on Artem Dovbyk. And there's a few other players that people may know, such as Angelino, who used to play for Man City, vice captain Gianluca Mancini. You've even got Saud Abdulhamid, Saudi Arabia international, Leandro Perez, who was in that Argentina World Cup winning squad, and even Stefan El Sharari, who he was playing 13 years ago, and he's still knocking around. But if I was to narrow it down to three, I would say Salamakers, Dybala, and Hummels. Both sides have faced each other in a two-legged affair in the previous decade. You had Porto winning 4-3 in a tie against Roma in the 2018-19 season, where Alex Telles scored a 117th minute penalty in extra time, and Porto had also beaten Roma 4-1 in the 2016-17 season. And Roma have never beaten Porto over two legs, so they'll be determined to make it happen. When I go off this game, I don't think it's going to be too exciting. I think we'll probably see some 7 out of 10 performances from both sides overall. Porto are home, which does make me more confident. I think they've probably got to win by 2 goals just to give themselves an easier chance of advancing. But I believe in the players we've got. Roma's don't have that strong of a squad, in my opinion. My overall prediction is, I'm going to say it'll be Porto 2, Roma 0. I think we're going to get more chances. I think we can break this Roma team down. In theory, this game could go either way, so I wouldn't be shocked if either team wins unless it's by 3 goals. So yeah, give me your thoughts. What do you think the score will be? Thanks for tuning in. All interactions are appreciated. If you could hit the like button and subscribe, then that would also be greatly appreciated. And I will provide a review of some kind afterwards. But until next time, Forza Porto.